Capcom, one of the most beloved game companies in the entire world, always putting out masterpiece after masterpiece ever since they were established all the way back in 1983. So after 43 years, you would imagine that the people over at Capcom have got everything figured out, right? No, not exactly. See, for me as a kid, growing up, Capcom always stood out to me as the one game company with variety. They were everywhere, doing anything they wanted. They ran so many different franchises and genres, and they used to be the real trendsetters. OG Resident Evil pioneered the survival horror genre. Devil May Cry proved you can make a fun, stylish hack and slash game. Street Fighter cemented fighting games as a real thing, and not just as a cheap arcade gimmick. Do I even need to mention Mega Man? Yeah, thought so. And just to push it the extra mile, Okami literally proved to everyone that Capcom just got that dog in them. That's not even scratching the surface of all of Capcom's beloved game franchises, because there's just too much to list. But over the years, a lot of Capcom games that took them to the top were pretty much just discarded as soon as their next big hit came out. Because at the end of the day, money talks. And if a franchise isn't pulling in enough sales, or isn't hitting like it used to, it just gets scrapped, or put on ice indefinitely, until Capcom finds their footing again. And what sucks is, a game could be loved by its fans and have a cult following, but because they decided to release it on the worst console ever known, then bam, low sales, but people love the game. I can think of so many examples of it. I can't think of any right now, but you get the idea. So yeah, although Capcom used to be known for their variety, nowadays they're just known as the Resident Evil and Monster Hunter developers, because those games rake in the most money for the least amount of effort. And as the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But the issue here is that Capcom has been broken for a while now. But who cares, because we got like $1 billion! But is there any other reason why Capcom has seemingly stopped making anything other than Resident Evil and Monster Hunter? Yeah, duh, of course there is. That's why I made this video, you flippin'. I think something that a lot of people forget to mention is how Capcom was able to pump out a wider variety of games back in the day, because games were just easier to make back then. They needed less resources and less people, because games were made to run on one single console. Most of the time, the console was a potato known as the PS2, and even when it released, it wasn't even the most powerful. I mean, just compared to its peers with the original Xbox and GameCube, the PS2 was like dog. It was so bad. Whenever a game got ported to the PS2, it was always the worst version. Just look at Resident Evil 4. There's a reason no one goes back to the PS2 port. Because it's just worse. Worse the textures, worse the performance, just worse at everything. But even with the tight restraints of Capcom releasing everything on the PS2, this allowed Capcom to really understand how to push this tiny console to its limit. Because they'd pump out game after game after game after game on this console. They pretty much knew it like the back of their hand. And also, yeah, when most PS2 games look like this, it makes sense why the dev teams were that much smaller. Because bro, even I could code a game like this. Claude, can you make me a PS2 game please? Nowadays, modern games need hordes of people working in different departments, in different flipping time zones, all over the world just to get a game out on time. They need a whole team of guys working on the lighting, another team on the textures, another team for art, another team for animation, level design, localization, multiplayer, online functionality, loot boxes. But yeah, you get the idea. Nowadays, when a game is developed, it's not developed for how much fun it's going to bring or how it's going to innovate the genre. Nowadays, it's developed to try and bring in the most amount of money as possible. So you'll notice a lot of these single player only games have somehow baked microtransactions into them for some reason, in the hopes that a poor 9-year-old will click on it and dump their mother's entire life savings into this game. Yes, thank you Capcom. But back in the early 2000s, none of this was an issue because there wasn't really a set standard of what a game should look or play like, because no one really knew either at the time. So every game could just focus on being fun and just try to innovate and find its own rhythm. Unlike today, where every game is a soulless third-person action RPG with some kind of trash open world thrown in, with half-baked stealth mechanics and the battle pass, like I said before, to try and squeeze every little money out of a sad kid as possible. Oh yeah, and back in the day, like, being a console exclusive meant it was a console exclusive, but these days every single game is released on all 3 platforms, so yeah, that explains why it takes a lot longer for a game to come out rather than before, because now you have to make the console port and you have to put it to Nintendo's console, which is, I don't know, it's flipping dog. Then you need to make a PlayStation port, an Xbox port, and then you need to make a PC port, and the PC port has to work in a whole bunch of machines, and blah blah blah. And yeah, now you can see where the issues come in. And guess what? Even if one of those ports are bad, you're gonna get so much internet hate for it. It's unreal. And yeah, on to the next topic. Games before could do whatever they wanted because the internet wasn't as big of an issue as it is today. Not saying that the internet is an issue, but you know what I mean. Back in the day, if a game wanted to completely flip genres or try something new, there would be no backlash for it. People individually might not like the game, but if they didn't like the game, they wouldn't buy it. You know what I mean? Whereas today, if a game genre or a game tried to do something new, even before the game's released, you will have reams and reams of people going in the comment section, say, this game is so bad and it killed my family. They will say the game is bad before they've even played it or seen it. And you might be thinking, that's not too bad, those people always exist. But those comments will lead other people not to like the game, and other people not to buy the game, and it's a massive snowball effect. And right now with today's internet culture, it really is just one big massive hive mind of whether a game is truly good or not. And that is why we are seeing, especially with Capcom, they've pretty much thrown most of their unique game franchises under the bus. Because there's always going to be someone hating on it. And as a result of that, we only have the most bland and grey and, you know, the most universally liked franchises out there, which is Resident Evil and Monster Hunter. I'm not saying that I don't like those 2 games, but I just want to see Capcom do more. I just want to see more games. I want to see more new fresh ideas. I want to see more stuff. I don't just want to keep seeing Leon Kennedy until I'm like flipping 90, bro. And Monster Hunter, it's just a grindy game. Low-key I like it, but please Capcom, you have so many other franchises. Please bring back Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was so bad. Please just bring back that franchise. It has so much potential. Just look at Marvel Tokon, bro. They're copying you, and they're getting away with it, and they're doing it better. Capcom, please lock in. Anyways, thank you for listening to my schizophrenic rantings. And if you want to tell me what to talk about next, then just let me know in the comments, because I do read all of them, or most of them. But yeah, I do want to get back to streaming, but I need more games to stream. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Tell me what games to stream. Thank you for watching, and bye.